All right, guys. We're going to get started here. Want to call this public hearing to order. The purpose of this public hearing is to discuss any questions or anything with our 5-year joint recreation plan. Uh, if anybody will want to address the board, they'd be able to. If I can ask the board, I did get a comment last month. When you speak, if you could speak into your microphone, be appreciated. Uh, would anybody like to address the board regarding our 5-year recreation plan? Going once? If anybody would like to address the board regarding our 5-year recreation plan, they sure can. I can explain if you'd like to hear what it is. It's a plan that the Township Board, Township Village, and Grass Lake Schools put together, essentially to give us the ability to file for any grants through the DNR. And that's all it really represents, other than a lot of behind the scenes work to put it together. Anybody want to address the board? See, no one that would like to address the board. I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. A support?
I'll support.
Got a motion support. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, if we can go ahead and call our regular session into meeting. If we could do a roll call, please.
Bray,
Yes. Here.
Loveland,
Here.
Wyant,
Here.
Renfro,
Here.
Bednarski Lynch.
Here.
Lazinski.
Here.
Absent, Harris.
Okay, if you'd join us to pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If there is nothing else to add to our agenda, if I could have a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion. Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Do we have support?
Support.
Got a motion and support. Further questions, discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, we'll move into our consent agenda items. We have our December 10th meeting. We do have an assessor's report this month that'll show you that they're up to date with their 20%. The only thing that's still hanging out there is we do have the tax tribunal going on with 10 portfolio, Tenneco. I believe there's some hearings coming up towards the end of the week. And what they've completed over the last 3 months. Zoning administrator report. There was no meetings last month with either the planning commission or the ZBA. So there were some things, and I actually was on vacation for a week or thereabouts. And you got your DPW report and your zoning administrator's report. And tonight we have Deputy Boatman in the crowd with us, who is going to go over the report for the Sheriff's Department. If you could, up here, we're going to, I think it's every quarterly, where they're going to come in and do a report. I can give the report as it is because there is something here, but I'm going to want you to come up and answer any questions and whatnot. The report primarily is the same. Accidents still a little bit higher than normal, but I think most importantly, I included a letter in there from Sheriff Schutte regarding the cutbacks per se that'll take effect because of the shortfall in budget. And maybe Margie will have more to that. But Deputy Boatman, thank you for coming. If you could come up here, and we got a microphone you can speak into. Oh, okay. Okay. Good for her.
Hello, everybody. So yeah, I'm Deputy Bigelow. I just started a couple months ago here in Grass Lake. So for total dispatches, there was 61 in the township. Out of those 61, there was 23 reports. There was 4 arrests. And then for PDA, which is like vehicle accidents, there was 6. And then we did 15 assists with other agencies. Oh yeah, so yeah, there was a total of 91 dispatches, and then 61 of those were in the township.
And that 91 being the total for village and township. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to pose that are,
Not necessarily for them, but my question is, we don't identify in this report, John, like the number of calls to the school. Not necessarily need to know why they go to the school, but I just kind of think that's an important piece to understand the time that might be being allocated to school-related issues.
I did the stats for December. I did not see any calls to Grassroots School for December, but we can add a stat spot to the monthly report. if that's what you guys want.
I think it would be nice because we've talked a lot in the past about a resource officer. We know that budget isn't necessarily conducive to that. But in order to have that reference base in the future, it would be nice to have that.
Yeah, we'll add it to the monthly report.
Thank you.
oh, I don't know. Okay, sorry about that. Pull that up towards you. Okay, I think I heard it click on.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all for us.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I could have a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have an approval
Support.
or a support? I'm sorry.
Support.
Thank you. We got a motion support. Further questions? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Margie. Oops.
Okay, is it on? Can you hear me? Okay. All right, so general government, the month of January brings us a lot of reports, year-end reports, 3-month reports, semi-annual reports and annual reports. So we saw a lot of them, but I think something that's really important to everybody, especially in my rural communities, is the IT department. And how does that affect you? It affects us because we're out here, and although Grass Lake proper is starting to see some IT and some internet service build up, some of our neighboring friends in Waterloo, Henrietta, Norval Township, even the outskirts of Leone, believe it or not, don't have good internet service. Part of the reason is because there was a company that primarily works out of Indiana and Ohio who had just put a blanket over and says, oh, we're going to service everybody. So whenever we would apply for grants or try to get another company to come in, they couldn't because this blanket was there. So we set up a task force committee and headed by our IT manager, and they have been able to now acquire a grant. So moving forward, new companies will be able to come in and bid on servicing internet service and Wi-Fi to folks that can't currently get it. So that'll be a big bonus. Also, our IT manager is relatively new, within a couple of years, and he had a lot of things to bring up to date, including, the radios in the deputies' cars and all the different departments, the health department, the senior citizens department, um, and our department as well. But a big problem was cybersecurity, and he's done such a good job that, quite honestly, they've taken our model and used it in surrounding counties now because they were behind, and he has us ahead of the game, including having us ahead of the game with the AI, which is a constant issue with cybersecurity. Um, the other thing is, I found this interesting. It was in one of the reports. It's not anything that's necessarily really huge, but I think it's kind of a fun fact to know. It says the Cascades is the result of one man's dream to do something special for the people of Jackson and to build an attraction that would provide visitor and a positive impression with the city. That man was William Sparks. The Cascades Falls opened to a crowd of 25,000 people on May the 9th, 1932. That's a lot of people in 1932. It was Captain Sparks' 59th birthday. So there is a group that is raising money to refurbish that Sparks Park and the Cascades and bring that back to its natural state. So they'll be getting new cement work, some new safety lighting and things that everybody can enjoy that park. So look forward to the new things coming up there. As for the budget, we did make cuts across the board. We took people out of the administrator's office. Actually, we didn't take any person's job. These were all positions that were open and have been open for a period of time. We just eliminated through attrition. Um, as all of you know, I have been speaking to this for months, that I didn't want to, the month of Christmas, be saying to somebody, I'm sorry, here's your pink slip. So we had not really a hiring freeze, but we had deep scrutiny on any positions that needed to be filled that would be paid for out of the general fund. Originally, the sheriff's department was looking at a $1.3 million cut. It's down to around 600,000, but that is positions that were not filled. That they had, at the time of that cut, they had 3 people, I believe, in the academy, and 2 or 3 people they were just hiring, and 2 that were going to the academy that will be hired, and that still leaves them 2 more positions to fill. So we didn't close it entirely. Sheriff Schutte has the opportunity to come to us and say, hey, look, this just isn't working. Can we get, another deputy on board? So we didn't close it entirely, but we did stop it right there. Questions?
Thank you, Margie. Okay, now's the time for public comment. We give you 2 minutes to discuss items that are on our agenda, if anyone would like to address the board. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Oh, I'm sorry.
I figure there's a lot of people here on the far side of the room. Grass Lake Parkview. Brent Coors, 3709 Burkhardt Road. Start off with some good things, right? Like, this was just on Bart Holly talking about all the great things downtown there. Blake, thank you for helping Matthew, right? Get a great new restaurant up and running. Got to go to one of those soft openings. So I hope the people around here are excited for Grass Lake sort of taking off development wise. I'm going to tee up a few things. Kinda gotta like, there's so many, right? Let's talk about the Township Hall is on the agenda tonight. I pulled up again that post that Mr. Bray here made on July 24th, where the Township Hall was supposed to cost us $150,000 according to the professional builder. Now that we've finally seen drawings and we see that tonight we're probably gonna approve $42,000 just for AE fees, right? And I saw those, what we call schematic design, SD drawings. We can quote, it'll be recorded for posterity, 1.5 million, bare minimum. I'm still being pretty conservative with the level of finishes and, you know, some things you could do to reduce curb and gutter, probably hook up to the sewer, not have a drain field, right? But that's a conservative estimate, 1.5 million you're gonna spend on a new township hall at a time when we need sewers, people are being asked to pay for public safety. We put 1% on their tax bill so that we could, collateralize that against some debt for a new township hall. I think the other thing real quick, sorry, shut up, the zoning administrator and zoning enforcement report, it'd be nice if these packets had some actual details of those reports and what the violations and things were. And I noticed that the administrator's report said, nothing was sent from his office. And to look at that packet, I don't know if the board members know, right, but in the past month, yes, the township attorney did have to issue a violation notice and a stop work order for a developer on the east side of this township who, and I'm quoting the township attorney, prohibited and unlawful activities ongoing out there. And that shows up nowhere in the packet for members, so thank you, guys.
Bruce Skiller, 9,000 page. You want to come back up and talk again, Bruce? Movie star, saw your thing tonight on WLIX, and I appreciate your terminology you use, keeping the door open for negotiations on the solar farm. John was on the news tonight. The project is back on, in case you guys don't know it. So, and I appreciate you keeping an open mind that there are possibilities that you might not be able to negotiate, you know, enough to make it happen. So I just wanted to say I appreciate the way you worded that, and that it, you know, gives us the opportunity to still make right on the zoning. I don't think we should bow down to the state, even though, you know, they haven't enforced it on anybody yet, and I don't want to be the first ones to bypass it. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close this part of our meeting and move on. Turn my timer on. To our regular agenda items. Before you got the monthly bills. As you can tell, Gail's not with us this evening. She headed up north for a training seminar and will be gone till the end of the week. So her deputy is here, Sarah. May be able to answer a couple questions, maybe not. So if anybody's got any questions regarding the regular bills or the fire bills. Anything?
What's usually said is that bills are somewhat normal, it looks like. Our police protection bill is the same, assessing is pretty much the same. And so payroll was actually a little bit less than it has been. And so that's pretty much it.
Yep, and fire I'm just looking at and I see just everything is normal. Well, if anybody would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the general fund bills for the month of January of $66,840.29. And from the allocated fire fund, $17,945.94.
I'll support.
Got a motion support. Further questions? Roll call, please.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednarski Lynch.
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay, Tom, your treasurer's report.
Okay, property tax collection is moving forward. We got towards the end of December, we normally get our mortgage company payments, and that went through pretty good. Actually, a large third party, it's called CoreLogic, their payment, they service quite a few different mortgage companies, and the payment all comes directly from them. Mortgage companies send them to CoreLogic, then CoreLogic in turn sends them to us. So that kind of creates a situation sometimes where people contact their mortgage company says, yes, your taxes have been paid. They call here and the taxes have not been paid because we haven't received the money yet. And so that creates a little bit of anxiety on people's part sometimes, but we eventually get it and it all gets processed the day that it's received. We did get our first revenue sharing payment, approximately $86,000, maybe right along in line of what our budget is. Again, I'll confess, I forgot to make a transfer of fire money into the fire vehicle and equipment, so I just did that today. And so what our auditors usually do is they usually pull back things that have happened in January into our audit is for a fiscal calendar year. So they'll pull back into some things from January into the year before. So other than that, I guess if we want to talk about interest income for last year, we generated approximately $121,000 by having money invested in Michigan class in 2024. So prior to having things invested there, our interest income was basically nothing at times for years. So anyway, if anybody has any questions in regards to the treasurer's report.
Any questions for Tom?
I'll accept Tom's board report.
Okay, so I always get confused. We're accepting and filing
Yes.
Tom's report. We
I'll
don't have,
support.
I don't think we have to vote on it.
Okay.
Yep. We used to always do that, but we don't. We really don't have to. Good.
What makes you feel good, Tom? I appreciate it.
Okay. I don't have any correspondence. Gail must not have had any, so, okay. First order of business is the ARPA update and the building discussion as to what the board wishes to do. We have a quote in front of us that we received from Paul Samulak, who is our architect that has worked with us up to this point, to do what we tried to do and push through real quickly in December. Was a boondoggle and wouldn't work. Too many unanswered questions. So we can move forward and have him go ahead and do the complete drawings with all the proper estimates from all of the different categories and engineering firms and whatnot that would be required in order for us to put out a proper bid.
I'd like to clarify.
Sure.
He gave us a bid yet. We do not have the bid for it. If we wanted to move forward he would do the exact bids for it.
He would get it. This was just an estimation.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I guess as a board, we can make the decision as to what we want to do. If we want to move forward and have him put together a truer bid. There are other options that are afforded to us that I don't totally 100% understand and want to probably get a little bit more clarifications as to other options that we might have in order to get bids for the project itself. I've had conversation with a former builder in our community that talked to me about it, but I didn't grasp onto the total concept of it. But it could save us monies overall, I believe. Or we can move forward, with Paul. That's a decision to be made by the board. So that's all I really have on it right now.
I have a question that I would like answered before we move even forward from that point, but I want to have a breakdown of all the money that we've spent thus far on, proposals to fix this building. And then I know we've had some other conversations in the past about building a new building, but I think we need to start looking at what we've already spent and what we might have been able, I mean, obviously it's in the past, so hindsight's always 20/20, but it's a lot of money. And it worries me a bit that we've already spent a ton of money on just looking at this and then looking at that. And we still are kind of in a quandary.
Fair enough. Other questions? And we can look that up. We don't have to act on this tonight, or we can.
Right, that would be my approach to this situation is in regards to, I'm here predominantly every day. And from my viewpoint, the new building has been kind of put on a temporary hold position. And we need to have, as Tina said, more discussion, more information brought forward, that kind of thing. So I really don't have anything to vote on in my position.
Okay. I would recommend, because we do not have to make any motions, Brian, we'll just,
I guess
it
to
as-
further, I guess this would be a public comment to the public that is here, though. Again, I'm sorry that I keep dwelling on the fact that I've been here 24 years. If any of you here were ever at the senior center activities on Wednesday afternoons, you would jump at the chance to build a new building. It's loud, it's disruptive a little bit, but it's something we as a township board have agreed to, is to have the senior center here. But the two organizations, I guess, if you will, need separate buildings. And we've talked about building a new building for 15 years. We bought the property 15 years ago. I think we're still going to move forward with it, but it takes a lot of more planning than where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So that's my position on that.
well, then we'll just not make any determinations tonight. I will talk to the person that I had talked to previously to get better clarification as to how that project works. Where I was a little confused is how it might interfere into our bidding processes and all that stuff. So I will get that information along with what you're looking for, Tina. And then if there's anything else that the board thinks through or pops up into your mind, just give me a call and we'll get more information. So that's where we'll leave it tonight. Okay, next thing is our parks report. Scott?
Yep, I apologize, I didn't get a chance to print this, so I want to pull it off my phone. We were very excited that we put a contract together with um, base Grass Lake Sports to do our tournaments along through soccer, I mean baseball, excuse me, and no, baseball, on baseball. Something we've been working on for over a year, and we're very excited to hear that. It's from the 3 groups that already do soccer. They're part of the board that are the 3 of the people who are part of it as well. So that's both summer baseball. It is
Warpath,
war and
Renegades.
Renegades. All 3 of them have put together, are coming together to work the part much more. They've already got tournaments over,
60%.
what was it?
60%.
60% have already been filled. So that's something that's really, we've wanted to do for many years, and we're very excited about it. So
Cool.
that's all I had on the
Yep.
part.
Okay, sewer report. Before you got the intergovernmental contract, the contract that we have with the village to do our O&M essentially. This year, there was some minor, price increases, and I believe there was a few, verbiage things that changed. You were all given a red line of it as to what was changed from the former contract. Is there any questions that you guys would have? I've asked Sabrina to answer the ones that I wouldn't be able to. If not, it's just same contract as last year, just a few prices that are up.
Sabrina, you had
Yep.
mentioned earlier the price increases for water and sewer, and what are they for 2025?
For the village, I'm anticipating 73 cents flat rate per month per connection for water for residents for 5/8 meter size, and then for sewer, a flat rate of $2.85 per month for our year, so less than $4 per year. So sewer is like 3.66 increase over last year, and I believe the number for water is 2.2%. So we're becoming very sustainable and right along with inflation across the board.
Now, we will, as a board, will have to look at just the sewer, water. We don't have a say in that, but with sewer, we're gonna have to look at that and look at where we stand in relationship to where we're currently sitting. And then based on what is gonna have to happen to that infrastructure over the course of the next few years. We're going to have to look at that and see if we're going to have an increase, which I'm assuming, but I don't know what it is at this point. So if I can just have a motion to approve the 2005 intergovernmental contract with the Village of Grass Lake, I will make that a motion. I've already pretty well stated it.
I'll support.
So a motion and support. Further questions, discussion? Let's do a roll call, please.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyant,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Benoski Lynch,
Yes.
Lozinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay, as far as a solar ordinance update, this is where we're at currently. We had a committee that met with NextEra a few weeks back, primarily just a discussion based on a letter that we had received from Mr. Ettinger. and their concerns as to what was put forth by the Planning Commission. We had a closed session with our lawyer to go over things that were the options that we might have as a community. We're not ready to make a determination as to where it's going to go. But I will say this, that the state has made it pretty ironclad in a lot of ways as to what we can do or not do, what we can negotiate or not negotiate, and where it all falls. If we, as a township, put forth what we're kind of looking at as the most protective ordinance that we can, that for the betterment of our community as a whole, we'll put forth that effort. And honestly, if that is put forth and this board makes a determination as to what we're going to do, and the developer decides that it's not workable, then they go to the MPSC. That, in a simple nutshell, that's what it is. So that we are working with our lawyers to come up with what we can, with the best we can, and what we can do for the community again as a whole. And we'll make those determinations moving forward. Now, tonight, we're not going to make any determinations. What we're hoping to do, and nothing's been set up yet or put into place yet, what we're hoping to do is have some type of public forum next month that this all can be presented by this board or its representatives, and also what give the opportunity for Next Era to hear it and participate. So that we're hoping will happen in this coming month, and then sometime in March or April, we'll be ready to determine as a board, given all the opportunity to learn and understand and know what's afforded to us as a local government, as to what we can do. And I think this board has put exhaustive hours into this, and we've gone to, to what we'd call the stakeholders, and we've talked to them, the people that live out there, and we've put ourselves out there, but we have to make a determination as a board. I guess that's what we get paid for, to make these decisions, and we will make those decisions. But right now, we're nowhere near ready to, until we get through the phase of being able to understand what our total options are, and put forth the effort to what we think as a board to possibly do a workable ordinance. We'll see where it all falls in. We'll be continuing to work on it and moving forward. But please know that all the work that we do ultimately could, in the end, could mean absolutely nothing. And that the developers for any of these projects, solar or wind, they don't like our ordinance, they just go to the MPSC. It's simply put, that's the way it looks like right now. No, we're not going to get into a lot of talk. I mean, there's a lot of things playing out. We know that. So we do know that, and we're taking into consideration. One thing people have approached me as to why we didn't get involved with that lawsuit. I think I explained that last month. There was nothing for us to gain out of that lawsuit. They were fighting one little thing that has to do with the whole siting plan. So that's where we stand now, and we'll continue to work on it and see where it all falls in the end. But ultimately, we have to make a decision, and we're willing to do that. So that's all with that. Okay, there's a few things here that we need to go through, and should be, some of it's boilerplate, but the first thing in is there's before you a resolution to approve or adopt the Grass Lake Area Recreation Plan of 2025 to 2029 edition. Would anyone like to offer this resolution?
Just a couple comments. I read through parts of the recreation plan,
Mhm.
and I found, I mean, at some point, if there's little changes that need to be made within that plan,
Like typos?
somewhat, yes.
If you spot those, please let me know and we'll forward those.
I know.
We'll forward them on.
I had
Yeah.
seen something that I said, oh, that needs to be changed,
Okay,
but I'll have to go back to it.
that's fine. And,
Okay.
and those type of things in the final product, because it's still in draft form, if you can get that to me,
Okay.
we'll get that changed.
All right.
Is that okay, Jake? Yeah, okay.
But I
Hmm.
mean, as far as the passing of the recreation plan, it needs to be done,
Yeah,
but there might be some little changes that need to be done within it.
okay.
Okay.
And we can make amendments if need be. So if anybody would like to offer this resolution,
So I'll make make a motion for the resolution of adoption of the Grass Lake Area Recreation Plan for the 2025, 2029 edition.
and we have support.
I'll support.
Okay, so we got motion and support. Let's do a roll. I'm sorry, further questions, discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyant,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednowski Lynch,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay. Moving to the next resolution, on a yearly basis, we have to approve the border review property, or I'm sorry, poverty guidelines. We, as a board for a number of years, have used the federal government's number times 50%. Nothing's changed. It's just a new numbers, so to speak, from last year to this year. So if somebody could approve or make a motion to accept the resolution to adopt the 2005 Board Review Poverty Guidelines.
I'll make that motion to accept the resolution for 2025 Board of Review Poverty Guidelines.
Do we have support?
Support.
We got a motion, support. Further questions, discussion? Roll call.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyant,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednowski Lynch,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay, next resolution is with Jackson ISD. Yearly resolution to approve our agreement with them to collect $1.70 for each parcel. To cover some costs in collecting their taxes. If anyone would like to offer this agreement,
Are we gonna have discussion after?
yes.
Discussion?
Yeah.
So $1.70, does that cover our costs, Tom? I know I asked. the
It's been
question every
fine
year.
for a number of years, yes.
Thank you.
Anybody like, you know what, I'll go ahead and offer this resolution up to approve the agreement with Jackson ISD Schools on the tax collection agreement. If I could have support,
Support.
got a motion and support.
Probably just a little bit of discussion for information's sake is this is collected because of it being part of the summer tax bill, where the township is not collecting any money whatsoever on the summer tax bill. And that's why we're allowed to charge what's called a collection fee to the school districts and Jackson College.
And just to make it clear also, Napoleon, do we do it with Napoleon, Manchester, Chelsea, or no?
Manchester and Chelsea is a little bit different because their school is collected in the winter.
Okay,
And so it's a big fee. It's $2.50 per parcel
okay.
that we are able to get. But that's a little bit a different situation. But
Okay.
yes, Napoleon, Grass Lake Schools, ISD, and Jackson College.
Okay.
Maybe you've explained it in the past, but why is there such a difference in $1.70 to $2.50? You know,
No. Sorry.
Tina, no one can hear you on YouTube, so you
Okay.
either need to get closer or check the mic.
Thank you. All right, further questions? No? Roll call.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednarski Lynch.
yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay, next thing is we have this year's service agreement contract with Wayne Bizarre Investigations is with doing our zoning enforcement. I totally apologize. I do not remember last year's numbers.
I was gonna ask you that.
I wanna say it was, I'd be lying. I don't know. I can't remember. I apologize for not looking it up before. If you give me a minute, I can go find out. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go do it because I hate to put you on spot. All right.
I don't think it's a whole lot different, his per hour rates and stuff like that. If it's, there can't be a whole lot of difference.
I didn't think it changed, but
I mean, for some of the things he has to do for $35 an hour, that's.
Okay, the last contract that I had before me, it was $30 per hour. And he's asking for 35.
Did the other hourly rates increase too from
50.
like the court?
No, those all stayed the same. It was just the hourly. So if anyone would like to make a motion to enter into this agreement or not?
I'll make the motion to enter into the service agreement with Wayne Bassard Investigations for our ordinance enforcement officer.
I'll support.
Got a motion, support, further questions, discussion? Let's do a roll call.
Bray,
yes.
Loveland,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednusky Lynch.
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay. I got one more request for reappointment to the ZBA. I hadn't talked to her before our meeting last month and had a conversation with Caitlin McClanahan. So I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Caitlin to another term on the ZBA.
I support.
Got motion support. Further questions? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the other day, I forgot to get this out to you, but you got it now. And I need to explain probably a little bit better. The agreement with Wade Trim to redo our master plan, we were awarded a $44,000 grant from the state of Michigan through MISTA to redo our master plan. There was money out there that was made available to us. So primarily what we're doing is entering into agreement that we're going to take the next year or thereabouts to look at our master plan as a whole, to update it and look at some things that the communities are facing, could possibly face in the future. And maybe there's some things that we can look at to better or bring our master plan into a more modern setting, I guess is the best way to put it. We've had the same basic plan for several years now. And maybe there's some things out there that we could do to help on a lot of different levels. Now, one of the main things with this is they're talking about housing readiness. That's the purpose for these funds being given to us. So it's a project that we're going to take on for this year. There will be time and whatnot for public input and whatnot. So we'll just, we'll keep you posted. We're just going to meet hopefully next week or next 2 weeks, I should say, to just set up a plan as to how to move forward. Now, what I need from the board, though, is we have to enter into agreement so we can sign the contracts with Wade Trim. That money is essentially in and out money that was given to us by the state. So there's no cost to the taxpayer on this whatsoever. So I just wanted to have a motion for me to enter into this agreement with Wade Trim to move forward. If somebody would, I'm not going to make a motion for that, but if somebody would like to make a motion, they could.
Make a motion.
Talk into your mic if you could.
Is it on here?
Just make a motion to approve the entering into
Okay.
agreement.
I'll make a motion to go into agreement with Wade Trim.
Support.
I'll support.
Further questions?
I do have one, because it's coming from the state of Michigan as far as how the money has been awarded. Are there stipulations, things that they are looking for specifically to redo a community's master land use plan?
The earmark of it is making our community housing ready. As far as any major terminology and pitfalls that we could get caught with the bill, no. Anything else? Let's do a roll call for that as well.
Bray,
Yes.
Loveland.
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Renfro,
Yes.
Bednarski Lynch,
Yes.
Lizinski,
Yes.
absent Harris.
Okay, the last thing on our agenda here is wave bus system. We've been monitoring it to see what the usage is. And in October, there was approximately 12 rides. November, 50 rides. In December, it went down to about 36 rides. But December, it was noted by Marie, that typically December rides, obviously because of holidays and whatnot, they go down. So I just been bringing it to the board's attention. Again, we don't have to make a decision on anything tonight, but we did give them, I believe it was $4,000 last year. And at some point here in the near future, they will probably be asking for our support again if we so desire.
I guess I'd like to see a little bit more data to make sure that we can.
That's where I
substantiate
kind of was.
spending money.
Yeah. Because I don't think we gave the money till probably late spring, summertime. So give it a few more months and see if it's worked. And it seems to be, I've talked to a few of the seniors that are using it and they love it. So, okay. So nothing there. Greg?
Alrighty. The report in front of you is the report for December 2024. As you notice, we were down from previous months, probably 6, 7, 8 calls. Yeah. So we had a slow month comparable to the past. I didn't run an end of the year. I got busy doing some other things. So next month's meeting, I'll have an end of the year report, which will give you the total number of calls and incidents that we responded to.
And will that compare to the previous year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it'll be a little different because we have a little different program, but you'll see where it has the totals and stuff
Okay.
for calls.
Any questions for Greg? Do you have anything else for us?
No, I'm pretty much set.
Okay. Good
Thanks,
enough.
Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Public participation time. We give you 3 minutes.
John, do you have the date in your head available for when the mining SUP moratorium
Yes.
expiration is? What is that date?
It is February 6th. We are well aware of that. We will be extending the moratorium.
Who extends it? This board?
This board.
So do we have a meeting before then, or you're going to do a special
We'll
meeting?
do a special meeting for
I'm
that
just-
purpose.
I'm just clarifying because
Yep.
there's been no action taken.
Yeah.
Then my other question to you, John, is how do board members find out about complaints from the township residents? Is it in the packet? Like you said, there was no correspondence, but I know that there've been multiple complaints this month.
I tell you what, because this is just a time frame, I will discuss that with you. I
Okay.
think that we have to maybe work on that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Because I
So-
mean, I get the question all the
Yeah.
time. How do I know if I've been heard?
Yeah.
So that's
That's
it
fine.
needs to be
They-
advertised. as well.
They're all heard, so.
Okay, and then Tina, did you attend the September 12th ZBA meeting? Did you make comments at that meeting? Do you mind to sort of give us a breakdown of what your comments
is-
were?
At this point in time, public comment is just that, for people to make public comment. I'm sure Tina will be happy to talk to you afterwards.
Okay, the minutes do not reflect that any comments were made, and that was a public meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'd like to address the board that, correct me if I'm uninformed, but is the village is talking about all the things they want to do, the township, all the great things they want to do. Is my understanding, it's my understanding that nothing's moved forward with the sewer system. Is that correct?
At this point in time, there's a lot of things moving forward.
Have you awarded, have you took bids? Have you got an architect, engineer?
Yes,
There is one?
yes.
Well, it doesn't seem like that's very well publicized because everybody's still talking around. They don't know what's going to happen with it and what direction we're going to go with and all that. So
Fair enough.
it just, maybe if there has been an award of that stuff, then I think it needs to be a little bit better known because people are still talking around the community. They don't know if they can hook up sewer, what's going to happen. So it's still kind of a mystery. So you're talking about lots of great things here that need sewers that you want to do in your new building and everything. And it just doesn't seem like, I've been driving by for multiple years watching that sit there. The last sewer system, when I did that, I was a part of that. It was my money sitting there, like Lester Brothers money, just sitting there doing nothing, and doesn't seem like it's a priority to anybody. So I think it needs to be stepped up a little bit and get a game plan and be acknowledged to the public what it's going to do. It's great to talk about a bunch of things, but if you can't hook up to it, it's not much good.
Fair enough.
Carl Wells, 2284 Mount Hope. John, I got some questions. What is housing readiness?
Housing readiness is the ability for us to provide housing for those people looking for housing.
That's a pretty wide definition. Okay, second question. Why are FOIAs now going to the attorney when in the past the
I'm
township
going to
FOIA
put a stop right now on this. Public comment time is not to ask questions of every board member. We've talked about this before. This is a time for you to make comments, good, bad, or indifferent. That's fine. If anybody has questions regarding these things, feel free to contact me or a board member, and they will be happy to talk with you. But right now, at a meeting, this is time for us to hear your comments, good, bad, or indifferent, and not to
Okay.
answer a bunch of questions.
It's a waste of money. ZBA appointment. I commented last month. Same people getting reappointed. Never announced that there was a vacancy coming up. Secondly, was Wayne Biscard, I don't believe the Biscard contract was put out for bid. There was no sign of it. And I can't understand how showing a draft ordinance to a company that you're going to have to negotiate with helps. Thank you. You.
Still Brent Coors, 3709 Burkhart Road. Yes, John, maybe for the building, even when I disagree, I'm willing to work with people, and it's called design build, right? I know a guy back here that's pretty good at it, might be able to help you out, but no, I'll help anybody out still. Even if I don't agree with the project, you better at least get the most out of your money and be as much scrutiny as possible. I will say on the solar ordinance, yeah, thank you for putting in that extra time, coming the extra mile. Really, it's this reappointment of Caitlin McClanahan, whose first order of business is going to be to recuse herself. And Blake, this will be important for you, right? As at the end of the month, we debate. I don't know why our township attorney is giving recommendations that a developer who's currently engaged in a bunch of illegal activity, go to the ZBA for a variance, right? And so we now from FOIA know, right? We have it documented that he tried to tell the assessor that he was storing hay and hay equipment. He was going to be doing hay there. That's why he should get a qualified agricultural exemption. She told him no. He still filed the affidavit, a sworn statement. It's a good thing. I feel like I should be talking to the police and the bank, because the level of criminal activity to submit falsified, fraudulent documents to the county for a driveway, for a farm access, right, to the township for an ag barn, ag building, when he knows he's building a commercial building, right? These are all violations of statute and law and our ordinances. And it's been 3 to 4 months now, since end of September, that we've been waving the red flag, and they've only continued to do more and more and more. And I'm just wondering how that's the kind of development we want around here. With friends like that, who needs enemies? And I've talked to our county commissioner, I've talked to board members, and nobody bothered to take this gentleman aside, you know, who they're all close to him. Our county commissioner recused herself because she was too close, but she didn't decide to take this gentleman and say, you know, get right with God. The good book says, the Lord said, render unto Caesar, but go ahead and keep cheating at every turn in your development. That's the kind of support for developments we get around here, right? Ali Malid got told you got to rezone, not go to the ZBA. Next year, why are we talking about a solar ordinance? Just send them to the ZBA, say the word agriculture, and they can start building tomorrow with no other permit, anything, just like the guy's doing on the east side of town right now, right? It was a farm field, it was growing crops. The legal standard for a use variance is that it cannot be usable for any other use in the district. So it went from growing crops to suddenly being eligible for a use variance. Thank you. Values are values. We don't practice moral relativism, whether we like the people or we don't.
Okay.
Donna Tremaine, 1741 Hayball Road. I like the idea of us getting a new township office, but I also like the idea of maybe renovating this building to honor our seniors. We are in an aging community, and it seems like they're kind of limited as to where they can be. And it would be nice to see them have a place of their own. I'm probably one of them, but you know. But anyway, it just seems to me like they've had to share these offices, and it's become problematic for the people who work here because of the activities. We have a very active, as you know, aging community. And maybe some of that money could go into this building to bring, I mean, this is really ugly. I mean, we could do better for our seniors. We could do better for you. We could do better for our seniors. We could share and make it lovely for our aging community. I'm concerned about them. And as far as the solar goes, the master plan revamping, does that include, I know you don't have to answer me, does that include rezoning areas of our township? Because I mean, you don't have to answer me, because I would argue that just about every person in this room is from my neighborhood. And we have been living through this for a couple of years, that we're even like that little dark cloud over us every day when we get up. As much as you don't like the seniors being in here and being active and noisy, you get to go home. That is our home. Do you realize what an upheaval that would be in our neighborhood for us every day? That really needs to be considered priority number one. It's zoned for residents. It should stay that way. We've given up land to solar. Surely there may be some other places. If they go to the state, I don't care. I don't care what they do. I care what you do. It matters to me what you do. We can't support the one without supporting the whole. So everyone talks about what's good for the whole township. Is it? Did you not all take an oath? Did you take an oath of office when you took your seats here, it says that you will do good work. We expect you to do good work for our township. At the very highest level in this country, people can be impeached. We hold them to a high standard. Everybody in this room holds you to a very high standard. We voted you. We trust you. We believe that you are going to have our best interests at heart. And we never want to think that you would put 1,000 acres of solar right smack in the middle of our neighborhood that is residential. And I appreciate all your hard work. We jumped through a lot of hoops. We went to the county. Even your planning commission said this is not a good idea based on these 4 things. And then it went to the county. They said, no, this is not a good idea to put solar in this area. Please consider that their opinions and their expertise matter too. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
Phil Coker, 10255 Lee Road. Thank you. That was good. A couple of comments from the Wayne Bazard investigations. I've heard of them, but what kind of investigations do they do? I'm just curious. And the $121,000 in interest, is that just this year or last year, or how does, I'm curious about that too. There's also, I have an understanding that there is, the elected officials get a % or a cut of new sewer hookups. Doesn't sound right to me, but who knows? I think that's it.
Thank you, Phil.
Good evening, George McKenzie, 9838 Page Avenue. First of all, thank you. I you know, it's been, it feels like 2 years or more with the whole Next Era thing. And I know you guys have been busy. A lot of us have worked with you. A lot of us have been in here. A lot of us have done other work too that you guys don't see. So, you know, Donna put it really well. As much as work for you, it is a dark cloud over our heads all the time. You know, we'd like that dark cloud gone. I do sort of, you know, understand why you're talking with the Next Era. I would caution against giving Next Era too much credibility in what they're telling you, because first of all, they're going to say, well, compatible to us is what the state wants pretty much, or something pretty close. Secondly, what's compatible, or I'm using compatible, wrong word, workable for Next Era. What's workable for Next Era, you put in a ordinance that's workable for Next Era. When Invenergy comes and knocks on the door for the next field over, that's not workable for them. And we're going to be right back here again. The ordinance needs to be what works for us. If they don't like it, they can come in and try to negotiate something with us. If we can't live with that, they can go to the state. I think they're going to be reluctant to just run off the state because nobody's quite doing that, because I think it's going to cost them a lot more time and money. And there's a whole lot of other strings, a whole lot of other things that they don't want to deal with. So anyways, you know, to Donna's point, please, you know, think about us, the township. I mean, us out there particularly, but the township as a whole. I think that's important. And again, whatever help you guys need, we're happy to. There are those of us who know a lot about this. We're happy to help you with. You should ask Matt what we think the impact's going to be on housing costs for all of us, because I guarantee if it goes in, Matt lives there, I live there, all these other guys live here. We are knocking on your door, Tom's or someone's, and saying taxes need to go down immediately. And the point of that is, Matt, you can talk about, it's been what, 3 months and house hasn't sold? And we don't have enough housing in Grass Lake. What's that tell you about what's going to happen to the value of our houses and property? I think that's pretty clear. Last thing I'll finish up with, I appreciate all you do. Sometimes I would like to see a little more discussion from you. You guys didn't even blink at passing the um, re-up on the investigator. What was that, 17% increase on rates? I would have thought that would have had you guys talking a little bit more, especially when we are stretched for money. And even Tina's going, should we be getting more money from the school district over here for the ISD? Should we be collecting the same amount that we're collecting on Napoleon? Why aren't we doing that? I mean, clearly we are looking for revenue sources, but there was no discussion about why 17% was okay. Anyways, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Bruce Giller, 9,000 page. Donna, wow. Couldn't said that better. And, you know, it's discouraging because the theme that we keep hearing from you, John, is we're going to make the decision and you're going to take it. It's not, we're thinking about you guys. You've said it last time we were here and you said it tonight. We're going to think about this. We work so hard. And when we make the decision, you're going to take it. Okay. So I just don't think that's the right approach, especially since we've been working on this for years and the zoning is clear. The ordinances are clear and you're asking us to let you break the ordinance. You're saying if we decide to break the ordinance, you're going to have to take it. Why do we have ordinances then? Clearly doesn't fit the ordinance, John. We've been through it. Like Donna said, the planning commission said it doesn't fit. County said it doesn't fit. But you couldn't make that decision. You couldn't vote no because you had to keep the door open. And you know why? I found out that one of the landowners is a head assessor on the review board. Tom Zenz owns property that you're negotiating for, and he's part of this division.
I'm going to ask you, I get it. You can have those thoughts.
I don't think you do, John. John, it's a conflict of interest, period. End of discussion. There's no way you can justify it. Okay, so let think about it. I'm just saying, I didn't know this. This woman's been here for 10 years, and she didn't even know Zenz was on that board. And so is, what's his name? The other guy. Anyways, the other
guy.
The guy used to have your job. Anyways, so it's Stormont. Stormont is on that group too.
He's the alternate.
He's the alternate.
Agreed, but the guy did some bad stuff.
Let's
okay, let's go. Let's change the subject. I want to go on to the new building.
Yep.
3 minutes are up, Bruce. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce.
Yeah.
3 minutes are
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Everybody annoys you now, even the seniors now, huh, Tom?
Let's not go there.
Thank you very much.
No,
Bruce,
thank
for
you.
your
No,
comments.
You guys
we're
don't
not
have
gonna
a
get-
problem with the
Time
guy
out. We're
telling
not
us the
gonna
new
get
building's
into
going to be
personal-
$150,000 and
We're
it's
not gonna get into
1.5
personal
million.
this and that.
And that guy right there could help you with all your costs. And you know what? You're too proud to ask him.
Name's John Solo. I'm at 3800 Gray Tower Road, and I just saw the MLive article. I don't know when it came out. It was just put in front of me. Finding it a little bit comical. It says what we're looking at here is taking what's coming out of these meetings and trying to figure out what the happy mediums are. I don't know of any happy medium that's come out of the meetings. We're not happy. They're not happy. We talked about 4 points, that if any one of those points, they were negative points, we're going to be showstoppers. I don't remember 3 of them, but one of them I do, and that is whether or not it affects the livelihood of anyone that has to live near it. And that's certainly me. There's more verbiage in here about, I don't really understand. What do we got here? I apologize. Next Air has a strong preference to work with local communities to ensure projects protect the property rights of participating landowners, that's the farmers, and minimize potential impacts on non-participating residents. I assume that's me, although I feel I'm participating because I have to drive by it. I have to look at it. I have to listen to it. What's going on here?
I'm going to make one comment, and then unless there's somebody else that needs to, go ahead and go first. Yep.
Amy Stevens, 2805 Gray Tower Road. I just had a couple of things that I wanted, I guess I can't ask, but just a statement. For the senior center, I assume they meet in like this spot here? Okay. Do you remember the old junior high school, how they used to have the cubicles out in the yard? I mean, is that a possibility to get like a modular home or whatever, so that they could be out there and it be on this land? And would that be more cost effective? I don't know, that's just a thought. And if you were to build a new facility for you all, how, and the seniors center would take over this spot, how would they pay for it? Because I thought that you let them use it for free, I thought. And then the solar, don't do it. That's all I gotta say. Right across the street from my house, 2805 Great Tower Road. And alternatives to solar, I've, investigating this the last couple of years, on top of buildings, the median, state land would be awesome. Yeah, put it out on state land. And I know that they want some place close to where the electric grid goes. That's a them problem, not a me problem. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Anyone else? Sure.
Scott Stevens, 2805 Gray Tower. I only have one question to ask, and that is, how is this solar array installation going to benefit this community? How are we going to make any money? What's it going to do for our tax base? I heard some figure when this began a long time ago that 1% charge on our tax bill for the administration fees was going to be more money than the tax revenue from the solar farm. And what it's going to do to this community and the surrounding neighborhood, I just don't understand how you can possibly think it's going to benefit this community. And at some point in time, before it gets put in, I'd like to know where and how much money it's going to benefit this community. That's all I got to say.
Okay. I'm just going to make one quick brief statement, and then we'll adjourn. The state changed everything. Yes, they did, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. The state changed everything with the way siting for state wind and solar works. Elections make a difference. They took the power out of the local government. And it's still time out. It's still playing out. No, not you, Donna. Not at all. No. Yep. The state changed everything. So we will let it keep moving forward. We're still doing our due diligence. We hear you loud and clear, folks. We've heard you loud and clear. Yeah. Well, that's beside the point. So if we can have a motion to adjourn. Oops, I'm sorry. John?
Timing is everything, John.
Ye-
You knew
yeah.
about this a long time before we did.
Yes, timing is everything. Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion and support to adjourn. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.